Where the fireflies go. Johanna was 4 when she learned what silence really meant. It wasn't the kind of silence you heard when the TV was off or when birds stopped chirping. It was the kind that clung to the corners of the house, the heavy, haunting kind that crept in after the last hug from her father, who left in a black car and never returned. After that, her mother changed. She was still there physically, but her laughter stopped visiting the house. The woman who once sang while cooking now came home at dawn, reeking of cheap perfume and smoke, her high heels clicking against the tiles like an alarm. She would collapse onto her bed and sleep until dusk, only to leave again. So Johanna, with tiny hands and tired eyes, picked up a broom, learned to fry eggs, and wiped the windows that never opened to joy. She was the girl who never smiled, the one who always sat by the window in class, tracing invisible shapes into her notebook while the world moved around her. Except for Mark. Mark lived next door, the boy with an untamable mop of brown hair, scabby knees, and a voice that carried like a summer breeze. He always had something to say, even if no one was listening, especially if Johanna wasn't. "Hey," he'd say every morning, waving a little too eagerly. "You forgot your lunch again." She would blink at him, then look away. They were classmates all through primary school, and their dynamic never changed. He'd try to talk, she'd ignore him. He'd nudge her during lessons. She'd shove his elbow back. Once, he slipped a drawing under her desk of a smiling sun and 2 stick figures, a girl with long hair and a boy holding hands. She'd crumpled it without a word, and yet he never stopped trying. It wasn't until middle school that the story truly changed. Part 2. That summer night. In their second year of middle school, Johanna found herself walking home later than usual. The sky was already bleeding orange and shadows were beginning to stretch across the pavement. She had stayed after school to clean the science lab, something she volunteered for, not because she wanted to, but because it gave her a reason not to go home. The silence of an empty room was better than the silence of her house. She took a shortcut through the small wooded path behind their neighborhood. It was rarely used, overgrown, and a bit eerie, but she didn't mind. That is, until her foot caught on a root and she tumbled, landing hard on the ground. Her knee throbbed, scraped and stinging. She sat up, blinking away tears she refused to let fall. Then she heard it, a crunch of footsteps on leaves. She turned quickly. It was Mark. "Whoa," he said, crouching beside her. "Did the forest attack you or something?" "What are you doing here?" she snapped, more embarrassed than hurt. Stay tuned for part 2. Like, share, subscribe for more.